Howdy y'all, Colin here with One Way Exteriors, and today I want to talk about the top 12 questions that you should ask before hiring a company to install seamless gutters on your home. These are probably the 12 most asked questions that we get. Therefore, I think they're the right questions, the ones that you need to know as a homeowner. All right. So first and foremost is, how long have you been in business? In our industry, it is very, very, very common for somebody to be in business for 1 to 3 years. All right, everybody can start it. There's a lower barrier to entry, but people just don't know how to run the back end business side of things and keep money moving and all that fun stuff. All right, or what happens is they get in, they've got a bleeding heart. And so they give everybody a super, super cheap price, and then they make a ton of mistakes and they end up losing money and they just go back to working somewhere else. All right. So those are like the two big things that we see happening in this industry. So look for somebody who's been in business for over that 3 years for sure. Not just they've been doing gutters for 3 years, because they might have 5 years of experience hanging gutters for this other company and they're a brand new gutter company. Right. So how many years have they actually been in business is probably one of the more important questions to be asking. The next question to ask is, how big is their team? Now, this can go one of two different ways. Some people really like working with the owner and the owner only, all right? And that's okay. If that's who you are as a person, great. But for me and myself, I've hired those guys in the past, and I've also hired the big companies as well. And what I've learned is there's pros and cons to both. So let's start with the pros of it being a one-man band. One-man band, it's very clear communication, all right? I'm answering the phone, I'm showing up, doing the estimate, and I'm showing up and doing the work. Therefore, there's no real confusion. That's the biggest pro to that. Another big pro is usually that guy can be a little bit less expensive because he doesn't have any overhead. He doesn't have an office or any staffers that he's trying to pay. It's literally just him and maybe a helper to do the actual installs. All right. So they can usually be a little bit less expensive, or a lot less expensive. And then the other side, perks of hiring an actual company, is there's a lot of different like safeguards in it for you as the customer. Yes, somebody answers a phone, and typically an office person, and then a salesperson or a project consultant comes out and goes over everything with you. Then it gets turned over to production and they handle it. Well, in an actual business, all of these people are basically graded on their job, and they usually only get paid based on their performance. And their performance is how well of notes they take, or how good of pictures and sketches, and how clear the job is, and all that fun stuff. All right. So there's a lot of safeguards in it for you that equal you getting what you actually pay for. Also, on that side, the technicians usually don't get paid unless they submit all the proof of the job being done the right way. So when you work with an owner-operator, one-man band, he's not going to have all that. Yep, it's done right. Yep, it's done right. There's nobody holding him accountable, where on the other side, there's people holding everybody accountable the way it's supposed to be. So that's why I like knowing how big the team is and really who's holding who accountable. And that's actually our third question, is who holds you accountable? You've got somebody at your house trying to sell you a thing. Well, who's holding you accountable, making sure you're selling me a system that's actually going to work? And who's holding the team accountable when they show up, the installers, to actually do the work? It's very, very important. What I've seen is sometimes the owner-operator, they care a lot and they do a really, really good job. Other times, there's nobody holding them accountable, and they just I gotta go, I'm so busy, and they might cut a corner or two, all right? So I've seen it go both ways in that instance. And you also have that on the other side, right? You have employees who hope their boss doesn't catch them cutting corners at all. But if the boss is doing his job, they get caught, they have to go back and fix it, and you don't even know, all right? So that is question number 3. Who holds who accountable? Number 4 is very important. I need to see your insurance. If somebody is not bringing you a certificate of insurance upon arrival, big red flag to me. That doesn't mean they don't have it, but that also doesn't mean that like you have it or you're just left guessing. So if they don't bring you a certificate of insurance, ask for it always. All right. Big thing to be looking for when it comes to insurance is that they actually have workers' compensation. A lot of guys don't have a workers' comp policy. Oh yeah, my guy's a sub, even though he's not really. He works for them every day. They start at 8 o'clock in the morning and they get off when the jobs are done. The next question is we're going to ask what size gutter. There are many different size and different profiles of gutter out there. There's K-style gutter, there's flat face gutter, there's half round gutter, and a million other different types of gutters. And then there's different sizes of all of these. In K-style, which is what we specialize in, there's 5-inch, 6-inch, 7-inch, and even 8-inch K-style gutters. Now, here in Northern Michigan, it's mostly 5 and 6-inch. We are a 6-inch only company because we've just seen kind of like farmers insurance. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. All right, 5-inch is not holding up in a lot of the rains we're getting these days. Even sometimes 6-inch doesn't quite work, but 7-inch is just massive and it's hard to get product for up here. So 6-inch is what we are subscribing to. Make sure that you are getting what you're paying for. All right, your 6-inch price should be a little bit more than your 5-inch price. All right, simple as that. But just know that there's a difference in the size of gutter. And just for your reference, the gutter is measured at the top of the gutter, all right, at the opening, not at the bottom. A lot of people will say, oh yeah, that's just 4-inch gutter. I measured the bottom of it. Nope, that's actually 5-inch or 6-inch, depending on the machine profile. So make sure you're asking what size gutter you are getting. Next, what gutter guard options are out there? Some companies will only offer one gutter guard option. Some, like us, offer 2 different gutter guard options. Some will offer you whatever you want, sir. And that doesn't scream professional to me, all right? So make sure that the installer is proficient and understands what they're selling you. There's a reason that we only offer 2 gutter guards, and that's because I've tried and tested them on my own personal home. I've tested over 100 different gutter guards in my home, and the 2 that we offer are the top 2 that work. All right, they both have different applications and different times when they work better, but those are the 2 that we subscribe to, and that's all I will put on your home. If somebody's willing to show up and put whatever you want on it, that tells me that they're not really ever going to come back to your house. They'll just take your money and they're going to run and do whatever they want. All right. If they only subscribe to 1 gutter guard, that's okay too. I've been there in the past. Just be careful because usually they're going to say things like it's maintenance free and you'll never have to service your gutters again. It's the best gutter guard. It's perfect. Like all that stuff. We don't say any of that with our 2 products. There's no such thing as a perfect gutter guard. They all have a flaw or multiple flaws. And we show you that when we show up. All right. So if somebody's saying this is the best, this is perfect, you'll have no issues, you'll never have to service it, kick them out of your house because it's not going to work. All right. They're just blowing smoke. All right. That's that. So that leads into the next question then. What is your warranty? We offer a lifetime warranty on our 6-inch gutter systems. Now, there's a few caveats and extra precautions we have to take to give you that lifetime warranty. For example, if you have a metal roof, we require snow fence on the metal roof because snow sliding off will damage the gutters. It doesn't matter how close we put our hangers, it will damage the gutters. So there are different caveats. If you have a normal shingle roof, we still have some other things that have to be adhered to in order for you to get that lifetime warranty. But we make all that clear on the front end. If you want this lifetime warranty, we have to do this as well. All right. But figure out what the warranties are. All right, we also have a product that we offer a 1-year warranty on, and it excludes winter. All right, so we really have kind of a solution for every budget. We almost never sell that one because nobody wants to buy that. All right, whether they spend $1,000 or $5,000, it's still a lot of money. So they'd rather just save a few more bucks and get the expensive thing that has a lifetime warranty. All right, so ask about their warranty and then ask, what is the warranty process like? If I call you what does it look like? What are your processes in place? How quick do you get out here? If this is failing, do you replace the whole piece? Like, what does it look like? The last thing you want is somebody showing up because your paint is chipping with a can of or spray paint. Okay, you're good, Mr. Smith. Like, you don't want that. But that is some warranties out there. So make sure you're clear and you have a good understanding of what the warranty process is like, who you call, when you should expect somebody to show up, all of those good things. The next question is, what contact methods do you have? Do I only get your phone number? And does that only ring to your personal cell phone? Because that's a little scary. If you're a customer that I know I did dirty, I'm saving your number, do not answer, or whatever, right? And guess what? I just hit ignore, all right? You can't do that when you're a bigger company like we are that has people on the phones all day, every day, all right? They're instructed. We don't miss phone calls. If we do, there's a big problem. So every phone call's answered. But on top of that, then we have different department heads that you get the numbers to. You even get my phone number. Every time you sit down with a project consultant, they give you my personal cell phone number if nobody's solving your problem, all right? So look for the different contact methods. Do they have an office that you can visit? I've had employees before that keep telling a customer, yep, we're gonna get there, we're gonna get taken care of, we're gonna get there, we're gonna get taken care of. And they were just driving by one day. It's been 3 weeks. It still hasn't been taken care of. They drive by, they stop in, they're like, hey, I've been talking to so-and-so. They keep saying it's going to get taken care of. Can this be resolved? And I'll overhear it from my office, go out there, boom, and we get this thing taken care of immediately, all right? We still have a bunch of humans that work here. We're not perfect. We never will claim to be perfect, but we're going to take care of you because our core values are we do what's right. We don't lie is number one. Number two, we do what's right. And three, we give bigly. All right. So that's what we live by. And we just gotta keep getting better on that every single day. And then our final two questions that you want to ask before you hire somebody for a seamless gutter project on your home is, how long until you can start the project? And then how long will you be on site? All right, two different questions here. How long until you start it? For us, a single 2-man gutter crew can do anywhere from like 6 to 15 jobs in a week, all dependent on the size of the jobs. So if somebody tells you they're booked out 6, 7, 8 weeks, that tells you that they have 60 to 200 jobs ahead of you. My guess is they're either really, really inefficient, or they're not working a full work week, or maybe like you just might get lost in the shuffle. All right. We subscribe to, and you've probably heard, we have a 3-week guarantee. We guarantee that we will get to your job within 3 weeks, or we give you $500 back. All right. That's just how it goes. Amazon made us a world that wants things now, and we've adapted to help achieve that. All right. So we guarantee that we'll get to your house within 3 weeks of you signing on the dotted line and giving your deposit. All right. That's our guarantee to you. If somebody can get there the next day, throw up your red flag. All right. That's a little scary. That tells us that they probably aren't doing very good work, or they don't know how to really market their business and they're hurting for work. There's a lot of different red flags that can be thrown up if they get there the next day. All right. And then how long will they be on site? This is pretty important. A lot of customers can get bent out of shape. The average gutter install only takes like 4 to 5 hours, right? This is for like a whole house. You add gutter guards, it might take a little bit more, but 4 to 5 hours. If they're going to be there for 2 days, 3 days, that would be a red flag to me. That tells me they don't really know what they're doing. If they're going to be there for an hour, that would be also a concern, because what are they not doing that they should be doing, all right? Or what are they skipping? So just know the average install for a normal house, 100 to 200 feet, is usually like 4 to 5 hours, all right? You can add a little more time if it's really, really cut up and you got a lot of corners, or we're doing gutter guards, it can add some time. So hopefully these questions have helped you guys make a decision on who you should hire. I'm a big fan of buy right or buy twice. My wife just bought me a Yeti coffee mug cup because my tannerite cup that comes for free when I buy tannerite was falling apart. It's all chipping, and it's 6 months old, something like that, and the lid is all busted up on it. She goes, Colin, buy right or buy twice. I bought you the right one because we know it works. We know that it drinks smooth, like there's no big issues. We're a big family on buy right or buy twice because we've done it. We've done it multiple times. I've hired a cheap carpenter to build some stairs. Guess who had to buy all new material and redo it all himself? All right, I did. It stinks, but it is what it is. Sometimes we like to cheap out, sometimes we don't. And so my suggestion to you is buy right the first time or be prepared to buy a second time. Hopefully this helps, and you guys all have an excellent day. See you next time.